Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as a young black male, I would just like to discuss with our people a reason that maybe we need to either listen to each other, come together, and get this thing going. It's probably been a long time since, we've been able to speak to each other as black men, but we need to come together to really tell you the truth. It's a lot of things that's been going on that, as you can see in our culture, we've been literally just been getting pooped on. And we call each other names. We do all kind of things to each other. We hide secrets from each other when knowledge should be something that we pass on to each other, because that's more value than gold or any type of money, is it not? So with that said, with the thing that we're trying to do, if we're trying to leave a legacy for our culture, don't you think the information, the truth about us should be one of those legacies? Money is also there. Some kind of land, home establishment is also there. But at the same time, don't you think the truth about oneself, don't you think the truth about one setting, and don't you think the truth about one should do as a whole versus trying to either be part of the workforce? Don't you think you should teach our children the finances and to own a building and to own some kind of way to make liquid money? That water that we all talk about. So, when she's running around talking about water, is she talking about a drug, biting her fingernails, got her tongue licking all out, or eyes all on buck? Or are we talking about liquid being the money that, okay, now I can use this as a form of income versus me diving into my bank or versus me diving into my paycheck? I got this loose change right here that I can dive into and I can make something out of that. So now we're buying things that move us ahead instead of us renting things. We're now buying things, That's that. Now we're starting to build equity in oneself. And now with that said, now the obligation of ownership becomes something that is able to help us obtain wealth. So why are we not teaching this to all of each other? Because we have to teach each other all measures, because that's what a team is. So a team of black people should be our culture, right? So why are we not teaching this to all of us, and why we're only teaching this to some of us? Why are we making it to where only some move ahead, when the very same thing that we're talking about is that a culture has to move ahead? So why are we not moving our culture ahead? So with that said, is there an understanding that we're lost on? Because, when we try to come together, I'm going to just use me as an example. I date a female that when they took my salary and put me $4 less than what I know that I'm valued of, they gave her a couple of more dollars that, they say she's valued of, but I'm a chef versus she works at a McDonald's. So, I guess I'm not valued as a chef here in America. So, for me, I'm wondering what country I got to stay in where I can be valued as a chef. I was valued down in Texas. So, but for me, I almost have to look like a migrant. I have to go somewhere else to make my money to send it home. And it's like, should I have to do that? I have to do that here in Michigan because that's where I took that $4 loss. In Texas, I already had the $3 gain. And with my next job, I didn't even have to leave that job because all I needed to be there was 30 more days and would have got the dollar raise. So I would have been at the $4 that I lost, So with that said, does it even pay to be proven in America? Because now, you can get paid to do half of the work and you'll get double the pay of the person that's actually doing the work, because now you're the slave. Because now I can pay this person double the work. I can pay them $2 more than you because you're actually the worker, and I know they're not going to work as hard, but I know they can tell you what to do, and I'll probably have them in your home working on that. And now they're telling you what to do, and now you're like, what? So now you see how they're learning how to slave train in their house. Now she says she's going through training in a democratic state. That's what they teach up here to the females, because I can just only use what's going on in my home, because that's what causes me to argue with my female, because I see that, because a branch of service taught me how people try to manipulate you with words and paragraphs and try to use you as a form of slave labor. That's why sometimes I have problems with her. But with that said, it's the military versus what's going on in the public. It's people that, we get erased out here. Some situations put us to where it look like we just run our mouth all the time. But at the same time, when you at least pay attention to what I'm saying and what I'm looking at, you get the same opinion. And it doesn't take rocket science to understand that, So, she's drinking the Monster energy drink, or she's drinking the Monster, or she's on the Monster. The Monster is a drug. Watch out for that slime looking stuff on the side or the back side of your window on your vehicle, because it looked like somebody's been drooling, baby. Yeah, she probably been sucking it up. I just have to speak it real to you, gentlemen, because that's usually what's been going on around my neck of the woods. I can't tell you about anything else. I can just tell you what goes on in my neck of the woods. So, if it's just a warning to you, I had to clean up something today to the point where somebody got mad at me that I even borrowed their vehicle and cleaned it up. But it was something I helped donate to, so, I ain't even tripping at all. But at the same time, I don't mean nothing to the world, but I do at least mean something to myself. So I figure if I'm going through this, it might be another male that's actually going through this very same thing, and maybe he would or she would like this information. So, that's why I say like and subscribe, and thank you for your likes. I'm just trying to get the information out there. This is something that I had to learn as a dad, because, I was one of those guys that just had to start paying attention, And now, I hear all the things in the background. I hear all the Ghost Rider stuff. Of in my neck of the woods, people have been finding underwear with the Batman cloak all on it, because they do all kind of rituals in your home, and it's to make it to where they have to do they have to set up the home in a certain kind of way to get these type of things, So now we have to worry about these things going on in our home. Now, you got to look at, okay, how did you lose something in your profession? Me, I did an excellent job at one of the places that I worked. And since I was not a pawn, somebody just went ahead and blackballed my name in the company and said I was non-rehireable. So therefore, I'm just out there now in the company that I worked in with nothing wrong. Now, how do you get blackballed out of something that you didn't do nothing wrong in? You didn't have any forms of aggravation. You didn't curse at anybody. It's just that my response was not typical as a black male, and I didn't start yelling. I didn't start cursing at everybody. I didn't start doing any of that stuff. I just shook their hand and just walked away, and I told them, thank you. I got suspended and didn't let go. Sometimes I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it looks like it is, because it took me a month to get another job that I only had for like a week. And then I got let go from that job because of it was the same company, but they said that I could work for them again. So therefore it was like, I've been out of a job now for 3 weeks, and it just gets longer and longer in some situations. And it's just like, how can a criminal find a job, but a person that is trying to take care of his family and try to get things to where food is on the table just can't make it out here in the workforce, because now my paycheck is going lower because of the skill that I'm improving. But she's doing mediocre skill learning, and now she's already getting guaranteed money, and now it's like something that I've earned has been taken away from me. And I see how in my profession, We lost almost 200 million chefs. And now something that heals people, like we really need that on the table, because look at a lot of us dying now out here from, we don't even know what that food looks like, right? So it's just like, I'm in a situation where I feel like, since my pay is going lower, I need to stop doing some habits that I'm doing, that I guess is have me moving up in another profession, because, I don't think cooking it, if a McDonald's worker can earn more money than I can make as me going through the steps to be a chef, I don't think I should be doing that job anymore. I think that is something that I should just let go by the waistline, because that is not something that I'm moving up in in a profession. We'll see. Like, I have a few things that's going on now, but it's just like, I have a family to take care of. And like, if I can't do that through chefing, then I know that I just need to find something else to do, because it looks like it's getting to the point to where, like, a woman is trying to be a dominatrix in my home, and I can't allow that to happen. But by a democratic state only making sure that I have only these few jobs at a time, it makes it to where my income is stagnant, and it makes it to where, like, the money that I make is now argumentative, and now it's argumentative in my house, because now her money has been consistent, even though she's only $1,000 more than what I have been making, and I've been off for like almost 3 months. And this is the longest time I've been off, and it took me to leave Texas for me to start having like long periods of a time to where, like, I'm not working, and that is unacceptable as a man. That is unacceptable I'm coming up with my own business ideas now, but like, I didn't want to come up with a business. I didn't want to come up with a business, but it seemed like if I have to I guess to get in the mainstream or to get out of the mainstream or whatever that is, I guess maybe I need to do something to just make sure that I need to just disappear, right? Because then there's not any place that I can live, or there is nothing that should look like me in a democratic state. At least that's my opinion. Because I can understand what's going on around that some people are winning from, because it's a lot of, things going on, that my missus is even winning from, because it's negative towards me, and some other people are manipulating that situation, and she's winning from that. I know a few of her family members are too. So I understand how that is. But like, so why do I have to be separated from my children? Because I can see that, and I can say something about it. I'm not a gay male, so I can't be doing all that other stuff that everybody else is saying, that these dudes have to be quiet, because I'm not into that type of stuff. You understand? And I'm not against those people that do that stuff, but at the same time, you know, as a male in America, you get lost in all that, and you just get labeled because somebody wants you to be something, because you take care of yourself and you don't have a stench or a smell to yourself. So, with that said, it's just like, you know, I get all the yelled at in the background, by just trying to make sure that I'm good with things. But it's just like, the better that I take care of myself, you got to hear the little stuff in the background, You got to hear all that stuff. And then they don't expect you to say something, but it's just like, okay, so you attack me for not saying nothing because they think that you a bitch. Let's just look at it realistically, okay? And then they attack you for saying something, and then they'll try to make you a prostitute, because now they're making it to where you're like jobless, and then now they say, they feel like they defeated you, or made it to where you're doing like mediocre things. And that's how they do it in a democratic state. I really didn't understand the difference between a democratic and a republican state, but I lived in a republican state, and if I had a problem and I couldn't find a job, like, I didn't have a problem finding a job. That's the difference. I never had a problem finding a job, at least not for the job rate that I looked for, neither. I looked for a job at $18. I found a job at $18 for my expertise. I moved to a democratic state for my expertise. Okay, I'm looking at a child to get paid. He's like 19, 20. I'm in my elder years. even though I have the knowledge, he'll get paid more than me just because they can control him. I might point out something, hey, that's not supposed to be happening. Well, hey, I think you need to be out of here. Why? Because there's nobody that pointed that out in 20 years, and it's been going on for that whole time. So by you pointing it out, and then it happened to you, so you had to point it out, you go talk to the HR division, and the HR division will tell you, do you believe a form of sexual harassment happened to you verbally? And you're like, yeah, well, they said this. And they're like, did they really? Did they really say that? You know how when it comes to sexual harassment and black people in the workplace, everybody becomes forgetful. They're like, huh? Did somebody really say that? I don't really think they say that. No way. I know that person. That's not how they speak. And then they're standing right there when that person says that, and they're just going to act like they're deaf. Huh? Who said what? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, did they really say that? I was standing right here. I think I would have heard something like that. So now that these forms of sexual harassment just happen in the workplace, now to get to the touchy-feely stuff, and then now instead of it being outside of your work, now it's like, okay, so now you see that some of the people that are winning from it, because now you see the very same word phrases that this woman that said at your job, now the woman in your house is saying it. So now that you understand that, are we really even saving ourselves? Or are we even busting a grape? Are we even saying anything that makes sense? Or is it just something that we just talking about? So I'll say this. If all of the women are connected and they can totally stop crime right now, then why are babies still dying? Why are women still going to work and still smearing our names? Why do men go to our job and dress in the code because they're sleeping with our women? What we got to understand is there's good things and then there's bad things going on out here, and we got to watch out for the good. Now, everything else is what it is, And then, I deal with the telephone all the time in my neck of the woods. I'm losing that battle. My battle I'm losing is to a telephone, and I'm losing to a drug. It could be a he say, she say, but the only thing I get is I get ignored for a telephone, licking the lips, biting the nails all the time. And that's exactly what I get. I have to cook for my kids, or my kids don't get cooked for at all. So, with that being said, in my neck of the woods, I got to be under some kind of code to live there. And then I lost my job because, like, the only thing I did was show up and just do what a chef's supposed to do. I turned 110 pounds worth of vegetables that it was supposed to take somebody 4 hours to do, that it took them that time. I turned that into an hour and a half, and it was fine dice just like they like. Next thing I know, I was without a job. But it's okay because it's not okay. It's not okay. Because the environment that I stay in is female dominated, and that's kind of how they do it, So now I have to either act like a female or be a female to even be winning in the situation, or, I don't know how much DoorDash is paying or Uber is paying nowadays. But it's a situation that's worth, considering. With that said, the question is, if we have black millionaires and black billionaires, why haven't any of those people come up with a situation to where, like, our inventions are being heard by any one of those guys or those females, knowing that our intentions are good and that when they do the research, they can see that it is going to be an excellent product? Why can't we get backing from any of those people that look like us? Makes me wonder. I'm wondering, like, where's everything else? Because in the woods that I stay in, I don't know if we're a team, but it's not, because I'll go somewhere and I'll sit in a room and I'll have some people sit behind me and they talking all kind of static about, some crazy kind of conversation about I'll sleep with you, bro. And you don't have to, you can't respond to that stuff, because what do you really say about that? Because in my neck of the woods, my female is gonna act like she don't even know what's going on, because she's part of that stuff. So with that said, it's just like, are we even protected out here? She just gonna act like she don't even know what we are, who we are. Huh? 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 That's that duck head. So with duck head, when you ask a question, huh? Huh? Ain't that Affleck? So you battling a drug, you battling your home, then you battling everything on the outskirts. You know what the outskirts is. So until next time, fam. Like and subscribe.